Friends, we have been following with the government for now almost 13-14 years for freehold of the lands that have been granted to us to the cooperative societies and others, and to make them freehold and to have other problems resolved, membership transfers and others. Now recently the government has come out with the gazette notification in the month of March and the corrigendum, and the net effect of that we will study, and what is the pending issues that are required that we will try to put up with the government. Now what is the thing that the gazette notification has done? One is that it has not given the lease land the same facilities what the occupancy class 2 lands are getting. That is to convert the lands at 5% and 10%. I'll come about what is there in the 5% and 10%. But the Leaseland cooperative housing societies should also be included to make the freehold at whatever rates that have been prescribed in the gazette notification and the corrigendum. So that is the first point. The second point that we require is the term of this scheme is very, very small. It gets completed on 30th September 2024, which is barely 2 or 3 months down the line. Whereas such a scheme should at least be for 5 years or 10 years or something like that. So we will be proposing to the government that you increase the time limit for these schemes, because societies are not in a position to make those payments. There are various violations that are there, and those have to be cleared within that time. Plus elections are there. Many times because of the elections there is a delay, and there are various problems associated with that. So the time frame is very small, and we want that time frame to be increased by 5 years at least. This is the second point. The third point that we want is that, say, there are two schemes that are there. One is the 5% scheme, wherein it is for the self redevelopment, and there are conditions attached to it, that if you are paying 5%, you have to do self redevelopment, start the state self redevelopment within a span of 2 years, and if it is not started, then another 2 years extension will be given. But if you do not start it within 4 years, then your money will be confiscated, and that you will have to, and your status will be again taken back to class 2 lands. So that is one thing. And then there is a condition that 25% of the additional area should be given to the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Now there is some debate about that, whether 25% will mean if your FSI is not utilized and so on. But such conditions actually make the redevelopment difficult. We already studied, we already know that there is not a single land that has been done self-redevelopment on collector's land. And there are various reasons. I made videos on that. I have clearly specified that for self-redevelopment, there is a trust and unity that is required, finance is required, and domain knowledge is missing within the cooperative societies. They are depending on the PMCs for making this redevelopment for this. They should have good PMCs, and so many problems are there with this. And therefore self-redevelopment, putting a condition of self-redevelopment itself is a problem. Then to add that Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, then it becomes a even difficult case. But the second case that is there, that is to convert the lands at 10% of the rate, which has no conditions. You can do redevelopment at any stage. There is no limitation of doing it through any self-redevelopment or through Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. If you don't want to do redevelopment, that is also okay. So this 10% has no conditions. Now most of the societies are okay with this 10%, because earlier it was 15% and now it is 10%. So supposing a society member has to pay 3 lakh rupees individually, now it gets reduced to 2 lakh rupees. Now, so from 3 lakhs to 2 lakhs, 1 lakh rupee is quite a substantial amount for most cooperative societies. And similarly, as the amounts increase, 1/3 reduction is there. So 10% is comfortable, but there is one more problem we are facing, which is the operational problem, which is membership transfer problems. So when we are saying that if 10% is to be paid, why not give us a amnesty or some kind of amnesty for membership transfer? If supposing the society wants to make the land freehold at 10%, then it can approach the collector, and collector can give an amnesty to the membership transfer, and directly for at 10%, this membership transfers should be done. Now why we are saying that is, many of the lands are not, this membership transfers are not applicable. The Supreme Court has not once, but even in the review petition has said that those lands which have been not given directly to societies but to individuals, and later on societies have come, they are not, they do not require to take permission for membership transfers. Secondly, Form HH agreements are there. There too, the collector approvals are not required. So if many places these collector approvals are not required, why not remove the this condition of taking membership approval for the societies which are basically wanting to go for freehold? If it is done, the society will immediately go for this scheme and can convert that, and then all the headache of the papers and membership transfers, all that will go away. Many times it takes 3 years, 4 years for the societies to get the membership approved, and for that, and secondly, there is a very big staff that is required in the collector office for getting the membership approved. Membership of say a nominee also is not a revenue generating thing. So it is a waste of time for collector to just move the papers for that purpose. For all these things, we are suggesting that when a society is approaching the collector for 10% freehold at 10% of the RR for freehold, then membership transfers should be done away with. So these are the three things that we require. One is that basically all lands on lease lands should also be allowed to convert at 10% of the ready reckoner rate. Secondly, the time limit of 30th September should be increased to at least by 5 years. And the third thing is that there should be a membership amnesty scheme for all those societies who are going for 10% scheme for freehold. Thank you. Jai Hind. Jai Maharashtra.